Hey, another fun one for the Friday Fraud Love Review. This one concerns a former reality show cast member who was also a St. Louis DJ. I believe it's a young woman. I'm going to mention her name since she was convicted. British Sierra Williams, age 33. This just came out in October from the Office of Inspector General, but it seems like she pled guilty back in May. Um, she apparently used to be a former reality show cast member. The reality show was called Basketball Wives. I don't really watch much reality shows these days, so I'm not familiar with it. But apparently she was also a St. Louis, Missouri area radio personality. She was sentenced to 4 years in prison for committing over $500,000 worth of frauds, which included tax fraud, bank fraud, insurance fraud, and 3 separate pandemic fraud schemes. Nice lady. Not so nice lady. She pled guilty to 5 counts of misuse of a social security number, 4 counts of bank fraud. Can you hear those birds? Holy. 3 counts of making false statements to the IRS and 3 counts of wire fraud. Apparently she was doing it over roughly a decade. This is all according to the OIG report. And her crimes even, can I talk? Her crimes even continued after she was initially contacted and interviewed by the federal agents, and even after she was indicted. Wow. I will link the article so you can read it in case I misspeak. The judge said she was going to, go after her to the fullest extent of the law, given her knowledge of what she was doing and all that, and the multitude of victims. So let's see. They were going on and on here about we will hold her responsible, blah, blah, blah. She admitted in her plea agreement to underreporting her income on tax returns from 17 to 19, and falsely claiming to have a niece and a nephew as dependents. Always using those kids for a buck. That's just disgusting. When it's false, of course. That saved her almost $30,000 in taxes. So yeah, she used social security numbers not assigned to her to open accounts with credit card companies and banks. So obviously she took out money and she failed to pay on those accounts, and those victim companies lost over $28,000. She used the social security numbers to open up bank accounts and commit bank fraud. She would deposit thousands of dollars of checks taken from other people's accounts without them knowing. So how she even got in there, I'm not sure. And then withdrew the money, causing another over $23,000 in losses. She admitted to submitting 9 applications for economic injury disaster loans. I don't know if you guys have been following the amount of fraud that went on during all of this, like the COVID and all that. I think it's huge, and it's far more than we know. But you can look at the news any day of the week if you know how to search for it, and there's like tons and tons and tons. So anyway, she submitted 9 applications. The applications contained the false information about her business income and payroll, as well as her own criminal history. She used over $144,000 that resulted from 2 of the applications simply to fund her personal lifestyle. And that is apparently in her plea agreement that she agreed that she did that. She received over $50,000 from 4 Paycheck Protection Program loans. As you know, that was also COVID related. After she was indicted on January 3rd, 2022, she applied for the California COVID-19 rent relief program, falsely claiming that she was a state resident with a total annual income of $50,000 and that she couldn't pay her rent due to a reduction in hours of work due to the pandemic. She received over $27,000. She had stopped paying rent in July of 2021 and failed to disclose that her $3,800 approximate rent was more than reimbursed by a $4,000 payment from the network that produces the Basketball Wives LA. So she was getting paid her rent, and then she was still trying to get rent protection, I guess, monies. Because apparently her work hours and pay were never reduced by the pandemic. She submitted fake medical bills to at least one insurance company, resulting in, wow, almost $140,000 paid to her. And then they mentioned co-conspirators or both. So it looks like she maybe had a co-conspirator. They're not going into it, though. They're just mentioning that. Finally, Ms. Williams has not filed annual tax returns since her indictment in October of 2021. She listed herself as exempt on a form with her radio station employer, resulting in no taxes being withheld from her $90,000 salary, according to her plate. Can you believe she is no longer employed by the station? Wow. I wonder if she quit or they fired her. Just kidding. So it says the total known actual and intended losses from all the frauds and schemes, including the relevant conduct listed in the plea agreement, was over $560,000. This looks like it was an investigation by the IRS, the SSA, and the FBI. So again, that's a nice little cooperation amongst agencies. In this case, they were all federal. There was no apparent state level agencies. Anyway, how's that one, guys? Reality show cast member. I guess she was a bit of a celebrity DJ in St. Louis, on a radio station too. So at that young age, 33, what is wrong with you? That salary just wasn't good enough. I mean, I don't even know what the reality show salary was, but the DJ, she made like 90 grand a year. Like, come on. And it seems like she's not spending it on children. I don't think she has any because they don't mention it. She has to go make up a niece and a nephew to try to save on her taxes by claiming them as dependents. Falsely, of course. All right. I will chat with you later. See, there are some interesting ones out there as well as just regular Joe Blows like the rest of us. Doing bad things and getting caught. All right. Chat with you later. Bye, guys.